in the hood? It's your man Theo Butler. Yeah, we in here for a good time today. We in for a good time, an educational time, an informative time. Yeah. We here for all that. We are not in here for a long time. No, we're not. We're not that at all. Before we begin, I'm gonna ask that you go ahead and hit that like button. Yeah, because we subject to get going. Once we get going, you're not gonna remember to hit that like button. And you know, 'cause this how we pay the bills and everything. Let me do my due diligence. Make sure we live. Let me go ahead. Yeah, we live. We live. Okay. All right. That's what I need to know right there. So, y'all, comics, controversy, and context. We know how we got here. let me establish some things. First of all, I'm a nerd. I'm a comic book fan. Black Panther ain't just my favorite character. I think when so's Batman. So's Batman. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Plant Poppy. Yes. Yeah. Before we begin going down that road, right? I just want to send a warm round of applause to Spider-Man fans all across the world. Yeah. Special shout out to the Spider-Man fan. Yeah. Like I said, Spider-Man Brand New Day showed up on YouTube. Don't I didn't put it on there because I didn't go. But I'm happy for the Spider-Man fans across the world, right? And I'm finna tell you why. First of all, I go back to Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever Spider can. The cartoon and everything like that. Oh, Spider-Man on the electric company, Morgan Freeman, that was when Spider-Man didn't say nothing. Nicholas Hammond, Spider-Man, when the utility belt was on the outside, we had them. That was one of the most horrific Spider-Man costumes. I can't even believe they made an action figure out of that one. Who asked for that? Lord have mercy, Jesus. Anyway, but I go back, you know what I'm saying? Like I go back with everything like that, right? Right? And I would tell you that I'm not a Spider-Man fan, but my action figure collection would tell you that's a lie. It is what that is. But I'm happy for Spider-Man fans. I am because whether they play video games, watch the movies, or read the comics, they good. They're good. You don't hear the video gamer talking bad about the moviegoer. You don't hear the moviegoer talking bad about the comic book person. You don't hear the comic book person talking bad about the video gamer. No, they all be singing Kumbaya together. They do. They do. They got the three Spider-Man. Like, I didn't hear one person complain about Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. They got all three of them in the same movie. They was happy. I was happy for them. And I'm trying to say they, but low key I could say we, right? Like got you some tarantula. Ain't nobody asked for no tarantula action figure. Got it, no. Right? Got you a brand new Boomerang action figure just for this movie. Who asked for Boomerang? Nobody asked for that. Right? Got Tombstone. Man, listen, all right. Got you a Scorpion. Yeah, man, y'all doing, man. Spider-Man fans eating good. Meanwhile, when it come over here to black characters, we stuck on all types of controversy. I don't even know. I don't even know how we got here. I don't. So let me tell you where I'm at with it. Shout out to the Rock With Me Nation. It is what it is at the end of the day. Right? Okay, cool. So I don't know who be asking folks questions, but I be wanting folks to think about the answer before they let it come out. So on the idea of Black Panther being bigger than the Black Panther himself. So when we say the idea of Black Panther, we're talking about T'Challa. Let's just think about that for a second. The fact that you got to say T'Challa, you know that should tell you how big he is. So we ain't never asking on the idea of Batman being bigger than the Batman himself. You're not gonna say that. On the idea of Superman being bigger then we never have on the idea of Captain America being bigger than the Captain America. We not gonna have them conversations, and we easily could, right? And so this is what Alex Simmons says. I would say that he's become iconic and mythological, and he is the one who invites us into this remarkable world that has just consistently grown bigger and bigger and bigger and more remarkable over the decades. I just see him as one element leading into this fantastic world. Can we be honest for a second? A minute, an hour, day, a year. You like Black Panther. I like Black Panther. We like Black Panther. But can we actually say he's iconic as a character? Think about what we're saying. Think about what I said. He's the number one black superhero. I said that. I meant that. But iconic. Peter Parker, Spider-Man is iconic. Superman, Clark Kent is iconic. Batman, Bruce Wayne is iconic. Tony Stark ain't even iconic. No, everybody and their mama not talking about no Tony Stark. Everybody and their mama know Bruce. Everybody and their mama know Peter. Everybody and their mama know Clark. That's true. Diana is not iconic. It's a lot of folks like Diana, but the word iconic, I just need us to look that word up, because I'm not one just be throwing words around. No. T'Challa not iconic. If he was iconic, wouldn't he have an ongoing monthly? I'm just asking questions. If he was iconic, would he not have an ongoing monthly? If he was iconic, would he not have at least 2 issues associated with him? You know, you get his and then you get somebody else's. Because Bruce got, Nightwing got one, right? Ain't Jason got one? Red Hood, right. Damian got one, right? Okay, Clark got one. His son got one. We don't want to act like that. Even with Steve didn't have one. While Steve got one, Sam got one. We're not doing that with Peter got one, Miles got one, Gwen got one. Yeah, that whole Spider-Man family over there. We're not doing that with Black Panther, T'Challa, nope. I know how me and you feel. It's just a feeling, though. We talk about, and I know my brother Darryl would love that right there. Iconic. I think Alex, you a comic book writer, Alex. You a comic book writer. You in the comic book industry. We know what that word. That he ain't iconic, big dog. I think we put a little bit on it just to move away from it. But well, if Alex, you a comic book writer, then I'm a comic book reader. And I think it's the problem that we finna have is that you got comic book writers talking as if the folks that's gonna read their quotes don't read comic books. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. That's not gonna fly. We're gonna get to the next person, because I don't know how y'all saying this stuff and ain't thinking about what y'all saying. But they say that you only got one mouth for a reason, and your brain is pretty big. You're supposed to think about this stuff before you let it fly out your mouth. Let's keep going to the next person. Evan Narcisse. Okay. I think it has outgrown the idea that it can just be T'Challa. Okay. I think that's a good thing. So when you say you think it's a good thing that it's outgrown T'Challa got a Rose Gallery. Where they at? Because if we finna get rid of T'Challa, then we finna get rid of his Rose Gallery. You know, because when Barry went away, we ain't necessarily, Wally had his own Rose Gallery. You should have did what a brother putting down and everything like that. Yeah. Even when Richard put on the Kyle and everything like that, he started getting his own rogues gallery of villains, right? Right. Now, see, when you look at T'Challa, well, if you say it's outgrown, okay, well that means we didn't see these villains, right? Right, right, right. Give me the villain outside of Eric Killmonger that's a household name. You know, like how we say Dr. Octopus, yeah. You know how we say Green Goblin and all that other stuff, Kingpin, you know, yeah, yeah. You know how we say Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, the Riddler. You know, Lex Luthor, Brainiac. Give me a list of the Black Panther villains that are household names. I'm gonna wait on this one. Dadgum, there's some good coffee. Shout out to International Delight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna bring y'all on camera once we start cutting down this contract and everything like that. But you say he's outgrown it. So which Black Panther villain have we outgrown? Have we outgrown Akibe? Because damn it, I ain't seen him yet. What? Hold on. King Cadaver. What about him? No, I ain't seen. Baron McCopper. Have I outgrown him? What about Malice? I know we got Nakia, but have I seen either one of them to outgrow them? You feel what I'm saying? What about Salamander Crew? Solomon Prey? Because I could literally do this. I could literally do this all day. Which one of them Black Panther fans I didn't seen enough of? I'm sick and tired. Eric Killmonger. No Madam Slay. No Princess Xander. None of that. None of that. So if them villains, those side characters aren't household names, when did we outgrow T'Challa? Because those his villains. Y'all say stuff like this in front of folks that don't know about Ash. But okay, let me keep going. I think one of the great things about the initial conception of the character was that it was always had the possibility for other characters besides T'Challa to inhabit the mantle. No, that was a great way to give him some backstory. We know what backstory is, right? Right, because Shazam, Captain Marvel, right. Would he be the first one that the Wizards looked at? No, it'd be the next one. Because wasn't Teth Adam before him? Right. It's backstory. That's what that is. You know how we talk about, well, who was Cap before Steve Rogers? You know how we got to fill in the blank between Cap being buried in ice and everything like that and being an active duty Avenger. It's called backstory. We don't give two damns about it. It's just to fill in the blanks. That's what that was, to fill in the blanks. But who we thinking don't know that? You a writer. Have you ever asked Marvel for you to do a one shot for them other folks that you keep saying is just a mantle? You sat right there. You ever thought about them? You got some stories? I know Karama Horn ain't thought about them. You know. Because we got a lot to say. You know, sometimes when you don't know what to say, the best thing to do is just not say nothing. Nothing. Because this too easy right here. Let me keep going. It wasn't really until deep into his publishing history, but we were introduced to him as a character who's already inheriting that role. What you mean deep? It's early on. Fantastic 452. What you mean deep? How deep you going? We ain't gotta go deep. It's right there. His pops get deleted. It's a flashback. What you mean deep? I'm trying to, because I don't understand this. I'm trying to figure out. It wasn't a reality until deep in his publishing history, but we were introduced to him as a character who's already inheriting that role from somebody else. You know, you use the word inherit very loosely. You don't want your context. Context. How did he get the mantle? You say he inherited it? I don't think that's how that happened. We being real irresponsible with our verbiage, considering we're the writer and folks subject to take you at face value without doing any. He inherited it. I know what the word inherit means. That's not hardly what happened. right? We don't, it's crazy. You're a writer. This is part of the problem right now. We got folks saying it's just a mentor. Okay, his pops got deleted. And he tried to delete the dude that deleted his pops. Context matters. That's what makes him special. And he literally went after the dude that deleted his pops as a kid. That matters. The royal family, his brother and his sister wanting to get payback against the dude that deleted his pops, their pops, that matters. It's crazy how we don't want to tell that story. We just keep glazing over it. Never mind, I'm going to keep going. We're introduced to the idea that it's a hereditary role, that there's a line of succession, and he's just the latest in a long line. That's how you got introduced to him. That was what you took away from that story by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. You didn't come away with T'Chaka was just backstory, because you ain't even got a story with T'Chaka. All these years, you ain't got one. We never start to think about why. And whose anniversary is it again? The damnest thing. This is this character's 60th anniversary, and I got writers that you're not gonna be accurate with your verbiage. Why not? Now let's go ahead and get to the star of this whole discourse, controversy. One, Stephanie Williams. Let me repeat the question. On the idea of Black Panther being bigger than the Black Panther himself. It's crazy, because whose 60th anniversary is it? It's T'Challa's, aka the Black Panther. We don't see no relevance in that. It ain't nobody else's 60th anniversary. Stephanie Williams, my answer is yes. And the reason why I say that is because it needs to be. It just has to be. Because we're at a point now where I hope everyone is realizing that it's not just one group of people reading this comics. Yes, it is. You can slice and dice them. You can divide them into subcategories if you want to, but there is only one group reading the comics. It's the comic book fan. Movie fans don't read. They made it abundantly clear ever since the announcement of Black Panther 2, and even before then, they don't give two damns about the comic books. They don't. They then went above and beyond to tell comic book fans, if you want stories with T'Challa, the Black Panther, in them, go back to the comic books. They got plenty of stories over there with them. They not checking for the comic books. So who you writing these comic books for? I'm just telling you, they on social media, Miss Williams. You know they on social media. I know they're on social media. The people that watch these videos know they're on social media. The people that didn't make those comments know they on social media. And they say the same daggum thing. They don't give two daggums about the comic books. Let me keep going. And now that Wakanda has opened itself up and we have other characters, pause. You talking about the MCU? Because I know they opened up, but over here in the comic books, and you are a comic book writer, Wakanda still practices xenophobia. And you say we have other characters. I just mentioned them. You seen them? No. I just mentioned them. You right. We got other characters. Have you seen them? Now, mind you, when you say we got other characters, those other characters are side characters to the main character, i.e. T'Challa. And if T'Challa ain't got no ongoing monthly, where you finna see them side characters at? Mind you, we're not having no conversation like this about Peter Parker. Miles got a comic, Gwen got a comic, every now and then Mary Jane get a comic. Seems like we got room for everybody and their mom over there. Richard can get a comic, Damian can get a comic, Jason can get a comic, Tim can get a comic, while Bruce got his own comic, Barbara got a comic. We ain't got no problems over there. Cara got a comic, Clark got a comic, John got a comic, Power Girl got a comic. Everybody and their mama can seem to have a comic, except for we got to interchange them one at a time. A nation under our feet was something that really just, I don't want to say necessarily blew my mind, but I love the idea that there's inner struggle, and a lot of that stemmed from the Dora Milaje, because even with them and their creation, I was like, I hope that we can like evolve this a little. Okay, so you read A Nation Under Their Feet. Let me see here. I read A Nation Under Their Feet. You mentioned the Dora Milaje. The Hattusanaze was right there. They was right there. You talking about Ta-Nehisi Coates? Yeah, I read that. I read that. As a matter of fact, Achille, the leader of the Hattusanaze, that John Ridley, I don't even like mentioning that dude's name, but that John Ridley deleted. Yeah, Achille played a role in that. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you say A Nation on Our Feet, Manifold was in there. Eden Fessy. Yeah. I think that story arc that you really talking about other characters, ain't that the story arc where T'Challa went back and got Shorty with the assistance of Manifold? That's crazy. Ain't sing about in that story. I'm just saying, I read it too. I read it too. It was a T'Challa story, wasn't it? It wasn't the people. They was after T'Challa and everything, and everybody came together. Shooty brought everybody together and everything. Yeah, I read that story. You wasn't the only one read that. You was not the only one read that. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Roxanne Gay had a companion comic book going, The World of Wakanda, something like that right there. You wasn't the only one read that. It's crazy how we do this from one vantage point. Because if I don't say this, who else knows? If I don't say this, who else knows that the Hattusanaze popped up? Mbala popped up over there and everything like that. And Baku's brother. Yeah. Who else knows? Don't we also get the very first midnight appearance of the Midnight Angels armor over there in that story? Who else knows? Because you the comic book writer. Like, are we saying what we need to be saying as black writers, or are we saying what we want to say? We saying what we need to say. I'm gonna come on back though. I was like, I hope we can evolve this a little, and it did evolve. And I thought, how did it evolve though? You say it did evolve, and I thought it was a beautiful thing that it evolved, because as strong and as formidable as T'Challa is, he is not that without his people. Well, no king nor queen is, right? But how did it evolve? Because I know we got the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, right? That was the second 25 issue run by Ta-Nehisi Coates. But when you say evolve, do we know what happened after that 25 issue run by Ta-Nehisi Coates? And do we consider that evolution? I'm just asking a question, because you the one said this, and I'm like, I don't think I'm smarter than you. You know what you said, but you read these comics just like I read these comics, and you say it evolved, huh? What was that, the Buffalo Soldier? What was the other dude? The colonializer? What? Oh, did we establish Atlantis as the sitting military for Wakanda? Even though we got a whole intergalactic empire out there. I'm going to tell you what this boils down to. Because Miss Williams, this is you. Now I'm going to bail you out after I explain all this, because two things can be true at the same time. You go on to say, I want to clarify if this at all needs clarification. It does. With the Vixen series, we're introducing new totems across the diaspora. Okay, that makes sense. I said that last night. That's a lot of land, right? But that doesn't mean we're taking Vixen's totem. You don't give two damn about T'Challa's. That's exactly how folks are reading that. That's exactly how folks are reading that. Because what's good for the goose is literally good for the gander in this particular situation. Marie McCabe is not the first person to have that totem. And we know, based on that David List run, Bass holds T'Challa responsible for all of Africa, not just Wakanda. Now, I'm just a comic book reader. Some folks call me the griot, but you the one making public statements that you ain't got to make. You the one making public statements that you ain't got to make. That be the whole thing. You ain't got to say this, Queen. You don't. You gonna keep doubling down on it. But that doesn't mean we're taking Vixen's totem and giving it to somebody else. It sure seems like folks are trying to take T'Challa's mantle and give it to everybody else. Now, if you can sympathize with Vixen, and I can as well, what is the disconnect with T'Challa? Please don't make it about a chromosome. Please don't make it about a chromosome, right? And you don't work at Marvel right now. You don't. So if you can't say what you need to say, don't just say anything. Let me keep going. I want to expand the legacy / mantle aspect of the totem, and that doesn't have to be done by taking Marie. So you can say that about her, but you're not understanding what folks are saying about T'Challa. Do I need to ask the question again? When was the last time T'Challa had an ongoing monthly? You comic book writer. Ain't you getting ready to go do an ongoing? So you know the difference between ongoing and limited series, right? Right. Okay. When's the last time Big Dog had an ongoing? How consistently has he had an ongoing in his 60 years of publication history? You the writer. I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan with a YouTube channel. That's all that is. Who asks tough questions? Let me see here. For instance, there would be a totem bearer from Charleston, South Carolina. Good looking. I like that, Queen. I like that. Who has a connection to the China berry tree, which holds importance across the coastal low country. You know, we got to do Casper Cole. Former white tiger. Yeah. You see how you talk about this person from Charleston, South Carolina? Yeah. We can't even get that with Casper. Yeah, see, for us to have an opportunity to see Casper pop up every now and then, the Titler character. Titler, right? You know what that means? T'Challa would need to have an ongoing monthly, because ain't that how we see Jimmy Olsen? Ain't that how we see Perry White? Because the Titler character, Clark Kent, Kal-El, got an ongoing monthly. Ain't that how we see Commissioner Gordon? Harvey Bullock. Lucius Fox. Come on, now, don't do that. Ain't that how we see them? Right. We see them because we see the Titler character has an ongoing monthly. Amen. Keep it going. And then we get to this other part. Which I think we could have started right here and stopped right here and not say nothing else. You're answering a question. You say correct. Different kind of project other than Black Panther. We get it. Different publisher, Marvel, DC. Different level of creative freedom. We get that. We're not stupid. We didn't talk to writers before. We understand. You either coming in to maintain the status quo, whatever that status quo is, or you coming in to shake things up. But very seldom are you coming in and be your own shot caller, because you ain't got that type of cachet. Right. So we get that. Different level of creative freedom, which was none. I'm thinking you talking about that Black Panther Wakanda issue you wrote. I read it. I got it. So I have it on my wall of fame, and I'll be putting it back on my wall of fame when we get to our new house. I read it. You wrote that story about Shorty? Good looking. You did the damn thing. It was a one-shot, part of an anthology that was about exploring other characters who weren't T'Challa. Obviously. I got that. Because he was exiled. Had his own comic book too. I spoke to that. You did. I did the job I was hired to do, which was to write a story focused on Shorty in a Wakanda without a T'Challa. You did that. You know what you didn't do? When you wrote that short, you didn't disparage T'Challa when you wrote it. Nope. You didn't have Shorty speak negatively of her brother at all. You didn't. We didn't come away from that story as readers under the impression that Shorty didn't give two damns about her brother. No, we came away from that story with, okay, T'Challa busy, Shorty got her own thing, she got this, she can handle it, because we understand it ain't about T'Challa or Shorty. It's about T'Challa and Shorty. Shorty is the griot. We appreciated having a story with that young lady by herself. No differently than we would appreciate stories of her brother by herself. Seemed to be somewhere along the line you lost the memo, but I think this was your most truthful statement. You did what you was told to do. You got to put food on the table. We understand that. You got told to come in and write a story about Shorty that had nothing to do with T'Challa. You did that. That's enough in and of itself. We know who the titular character is. Knowing the job that you were given to do, why are you going so hard to say it matters over here, but it don't matter over there? When if we look at Marie McCabe and T'Challa, well, let's think about this for a second. Isn't the totem passed down from family member to family member? Isn't she a guardian? And you say you're going to introduce other totem bearers, but you're not going to take away the light from her. Well, what have they been trying to do to T'Challa since the actor passed away? Take the light from him. You expect me to believe as a writer you're in a bubble where you're oblivious to all of that? You expect fans to believe that you're oblivious. And to your fans, your supporters, I'm one of them. I'm wishing you well. I like Vixen. Like I don't want you to think I ain't wishing you well. No. I want you to knock that dadgum thing out the park. I want you to make Marie McCabe a household name. See how we do that? But we also want the same thing for T'Challa, and not just for T'Challa. We want Shooter to be a household name. Miss Williams, you got way too many folks that look like me and you who don't even know T'Challa's origin story. The character can't be iconic if you can't even quote his origin story. You got folks that look like me and you that don't even know what Shorty is capable of doing today. Right? You clearly know what she can do because I read your story. Okay. Well, it's safe to say they don't give two damns about that character either. Even the folks that quite a few people are capping behind because they finna replace Shorty. And here we go. If I say Shorty got her own stories and you wrote a short story about Shorty and nobody else taking on the Rhino, then wouldn't that be another story that we either could have gotten either on Disney Plus as a series or part of her story in the movies? Yes, it is. It absolutely is. But it starts with the titular character. And I'm going to say it like I've been saying it. If they don't give two damns about T'Challa, and that is the #1 black superhero, point blank, period, it's not even up for debate, then they're not going to give a damn about anybody else. And everybody else is anybody else. That's exactly who they are. All of them fall into that. If they don't give two damns, I hear folks asking about Rocket. I hear folks asking about Icon. Did we not act like we didn't know what was going on with Michael Holt doing James Gunn? How many folks sat up here and said, oh, we sick of this actor playing the role of this character? Oh, we sick. They over there laughing. Because they ain't getting divided up on stuff like that. Oh, the character shouldn't be listening to opera. Boy, we sound real. We can't wait to get on social media and show. Ooh, I'm trying not to do that. Trying not to do that. Well, coming out as a writer and making comments about this character, you know damn good and well you can't make about that character over there. You know you practicing cognitive dissonance. You know it wouldn't make no sense if somebody sat up there and asked you them questions credibly. It's not a good look. I'm not telling folks to boycott the comic book. I don't believe that. But I would like to think that as a writer, a black one, y'all wouldn't be so quick to make dismissive comments about black characters. Like, damn, I'm gonna keep up with these notes. If we got them, I'm gonna get on up out of here. I came in here for a good time, not to be confused with a long time. I did. I need to get that up off my chest. And let me say it like this. You, the writer, don't have to give two damns about the character that you're writing. What's going on, Black Panther? What's going on? I guess they always thought we were fans of the mantle only. I don't know what they was thinking. What's going on? I tell them. What's going on? You don't have to like the character. And I'm not saying that you do. I don't want that to come across like that's what I'm saying. The writers must like the character. You do have a job to do, though. You do have a job to do. And as Miss Williams put it, her job was to come in and write a story that did not feature T'Challa. Her story was to come in and write a story that features Shuri. I'm not saying she's a Shuri fan. I'm going to say she came in and did her job, though. Whether she likes Shuri or not. Well, I'm not looking for you to like the character. I don't give two damns. I don't. I expect you to do your job. Now, what I would like, but I understand it's what I like. I would like the black writers to be down like 4 flat tires for the black characters, like other writers are for other characters. You're not. This latest controversy indicates that. It shows it. It's right there in black and white. You're going to say something crazy. You're going to say something that's going to divide a demographic, that's going to divide a people when it didn't need to be. You could have said nothing. I see a lot of similarities between Vixen and T'Challa. You could have said that. Could have said right there. I hope Vixen gets half as much attention as T'Challa does. You could have said it and left it right there. But then you gonna have to, in trying to explain why you wrote what you wrote in Wakanda, which did not need no explanation as far as I was concerned. You said something crazy, which I wish you would have went back and read your statement, because it don't make no damn sense. Not when, aside from the fact, DC and Marvel DC, Vixen and T'Challa, we could literally do this right here. We could literally do that right there, based on they stories and everything like that. And I don't know why you went so far to do what you did. But we got to do better. We got to do better, because if we don't do better, we're going to keep being pawns in the game. And when I say pawns in the game, if you are on social media and you're finding yourself arguing back and forth, regardless of what side you find yourself on, you're a pawn. You're arguing about something with somebody who don't know. You who don't know, you're arguing and you know you don't know. So I want us to think about this. The person that does know is arguing back and forth with somebody who know they don't know. That's counterproductive. And we're the only ones doing it from a place of misinformation, if not just lack of knowledge altogether. Man, we got to stop. We got to stop, and we got to be the examples that we're going to set. I would love to say that I'm looking for other comic book influencers to do that, but I understand controversy sells. Everybody not doing it for the culture. I would love to think that writers are going to do it, but hey, you got to put food on the table. You got to put food on the table. So if you got to do what you got to do to put food on the table, don't get upset when you get corrected. I've accepted. Y'all got to do what y'all got to do. Y'all got to say what y'all got to say to keep your employment opportunities open. You do. I don't work for Marvel. I don't work for DC. I work for the people. And so with me working for the people, if you do something that's counterproductive to the people, I'm going to call you out for it. If you do something that's productive for the people, I'm going to acknowledge you for it. Either way, I understand. I just hope we got a mutual understanding. You got to say what you got to say to keep your opportunities, your job opportunities on the table alive. God bless you. Don't get mad. Don't. When I come around the mountain, and I do, Don't get mad. Just say, yeah. Theo here. They call me the grill for a reason, because I keep up with stuff. Well, y'all might want to watch what y'all start saying. Let me get on up out of here. I appreciate y'all pulling up. If you can, hit that like button and everything. Tell your friends about it and everything. Become a member of the channel. At the very least, subscribe to the channel and everything. That's how we keep the lights on and everything like that. That's it. We out. Like, share, subscribe. Also, before I go, because we Black Panther fans, right? Did y'all see the video I just dropped? The Avengers 57. Y'all know how many times T'Challa ran into Ultron early on back in the day, like before we got Ultron 10, Age of Ultron, and everything like that. No, when Ultron was the Crimson Cowl, T'Challa ran up on this dude with Hank, Janet, and Clint. Right? Then we get the next story. He running the fade again because when the Vision make his debut, you know how we talk about the Vision. Yeah, a Vision quest and everything. T'Challa was a member of the Avengers before the Vision was. He was. It's crazy how we get this stuff right here. This is some good stuff with T'Challa that, you know what, you ain't gonna ever get in the MCU. Ooh, I'm so glad we got Wakanda at the house. We can't even have conversations like this with MCU fans. We can't. Spider-Man fans, they can have all types of conversations. Spider-Man fans have conversations whether they talking video games, comic books, movies. I wish you know what? I'm a Spider-Man fan, but not like I'm a Black Panther fan. I wish we Black Panther fans had that type of kumbaya and everything like that, where we could come together in fellowship. No, that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Anyway, oh well. I'm out. Like, share, subscribe. Remember, we in this thing together. Please remember we in this thing together. Like, can we remember that? Like, regardless of where we at across the world, we CMB. We all we got. Yeah, whether we get along or not, whether we like each other. Some stuff's supposed to outweigh other stuff. It is. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Remember the late great Don Cornelius and Chadwick Boseman. Until next time, I wish each and every last one of you love, peace, and soul. We out.